Welcome back, everybody. Sorry I sound a little nasally still from yesterday, but, we had a cold over the weekend, so we're recovering from that. But as I stated yesterday, we're going to move away a little bit from the Star Wars gaming news, take a step back, look over some other games, we didn't really get to cover during that time period. The first game I wanted to cover and do a review on today was Resident Evil 8 Village. So that was the first game I've beaten in the time frame from like when I kind of stopped playing the Star Wars games and dialed back from the news and the videos. I just wanted to try something else, and this review is coming from a brand new player in the series. I did attempt to play Resident Evil 2 Remake, but unfortunately that game was a little bit too confusing at the time to kind of get into it, so I lost track of it and just stopped playing. But Village really caught my attention, and we're going to get into the pros, cons, and what I think overall about it, and if you guys should buy it. As always, if you guys are new to the channel and you enjoy the content, please consider subscribing as it helps the channel grow. Be sure to like the video and then turn on the notification bell so you guys never miss an upload. As always, my name's Ross, so let's get into this review. So the first thing I want to say about Resident Evil 8 Village is it is a must-buy if you are going to be a new player in the series. It was very easy to get into. I didn't find it too confusing. However, I did use some tutorials on YouTube just to kind of guide me in some certain spots. But other than that, I was able to beat it in about a week. I work during the week, so it's hard to play games at that time, but I was able to beat it in about a week, and it was absolutely amazing. The first Resident Evil game I've beaten from start to finish. I never felt like the game left me behind or kind of like had a learning curve that if you didn't play the original games, you're not going to be able to play this one. So I do want to go back in, maybe play at a harder difficulty this time, or play like a new game plus with all the stuff I've already gathered, but it is a must play if you guys have not played it yet. So one of the first things that captured me is the story. I didn't play Resident Evil 7, unfortunately. I was going to, right when I saw Village was about to come out, so I downloaded it from the PlayStation, Plus subscriber stuff, and I started the intro, and I think I didn't pay attention enough to the date, and Resident Evil 8 Village came out the next day, so I just ended up buying that, watched the recap video, kind of caught myself up with Ethan Winters, and then dove into the game, and it was an amazing story. There was a little bit of a con with it, just based on the selling points, but other than that, it was really amazing. I don't want to give any spoilers for those who haven't played it yet, but just know that there's a lot more to it than what the trailer shows you. Another thing I really loved, and this goes hand in hand with gunplay and weapon diversity, so the weapon diversity is awesome. There's a plethora of weapons you can use between the two pistols. There's a starting pistol, then the M1911. There's two different shotguns. There's a grenade launcher, the Wolfsbane hand cannon, like revolver thing, which is really fun to use. But the best thing about it was how they felt playing on PlayStation 5 and the game really taking advantage of the haptic feedback and the adaptive triggers on the PlayStation 5 DualSense controller. Every gun felt different in the triggers. It was like each gun had like different resistance in the trigger pulls, and the way you couldn't just like rapid fire, it had to delay. It was just a really cool feeling, and it kind of made some of those high action moments a little bit more intense because you couldn't just spew off bullets. You had to kind of wait. But other than that, like I said, like if you have it on PlayStation 5 or if you buy it on Steam, the PlayStation 5 DualSense controller is compatible with Steam, so I definitely recommend using it when you play the game. Another thing that really caught my attention was having a merchant, being able to buy more inventory space by just playing the game instead of having to like find it, because that's where I struggled in Resident Evil 2 Remake. Was I didn't have enough inventory space, couldn't hold enough ammo, couldn't hold all the guns I found. It was just very complicated. But having the merchant back, where you can just go buy your ammo, buy some new gun parts, buy your space, that just made the game a little bit more easier to get through, and I felt like I had a little bit of help. So like I said, if you are a new player like me, then yes, that's going to be a big selling point for you because it does help you get through the game a little bit easier. Last thing that was like really awesome to me but wasn't too overwhelming was the fear factor. The game knew when to be scary and when not to. Like the House Benevenito, if that's how you pronounce it, was like the whole time that was scary. Especially in the basement when the lights go out, the little baby thing chases you. But other than that, like there was moments of fear walking through the castle, and Lady D would just pop out, and go through the door, slash you with her big claws, and you run away, run back to the merchant, hide, reset. Like, it just had its moments. The third boss, I think, was like the Mordau. That part wasn't too. That was kind of too easy, I think. Just big monster thing, and the whole Heisenberg thing was okay. But like I said, like the game knew when to be scary and have those like, good pop outs, and then it knew when to have the action you'd like to see in a Resident Evil game without being Resident Evil 6. So I only have 2 cons, and this is like they're not that big of a deal. Because one of them kind of can give us more, one of them was just kind of a letdown. But the first con was the lack of content with Lady D. She was the big selling point in the advertisements and the trailers. People were doing dress-ups of her. Like, it was a big selling point when the game got announced, and I think just having her as the first boss and beating that, first and moving on with the rest of the game kind of felt a little bit disappointing. I thought fully that she was like the main bad person, but she wasn't. So, I mean, it's not like a big deal, but I just thought we were going to see more of it, especially in the castle, kind of like that Mr. X factor where they just follow you around the house and you're kind of, have to just play it by ear and run around, find your stuff and reset. But like I said, not a big deal, but just thought we were going to see a little bit more of that. And then the ending was a little bit open-ended. I'm going to stop here, spoiler alert, and then, if you haven't finished the game, go finish it. If not, I'm moving on, so here's your warning. But the ending is open-ended. As you know, when you beat the game, Ethan blows himself up with Mother Miranda, and, you think that's the end of it. Chris saves Mia, and then you move on, and then it jumps forward in time, and Rose, the daughter, is in the truck, like at a cemetery with Chris Redfield, and when you're driving down the road at the end of it, it pans out, and you see the car just going in the distance, but then someone's walking back towards the car, and then you see the brake lights and the car stop, and that's where it's like, okay, what could that be? And then if you watch, there's a couple of videos out there where people, like, I think on PC, paused the game and were able to do like a free camera, and they zoomed all the way into who that person was walking down the road, and lo and behold, it was Ethan. So I don't know if that was just like a little tease or an Easter egg for you guys to just kind of figure out, but if they are trying to tease that he's back, because we do have kind of news about Resident Evil 9, it's like a little bit open-ended. How did he get out? And maybe that's the new game. I don't know. It's just, if that's the case, then I'm a little curious to see how he got out since he blew up. But that's my review. Hopefully that's enough of a selling point for you guys to, go check out the game if you haven't. If you guys are a new player, let me know what your favorite things are down in the comments. If you guys have things you don't like, things you do like. Did you play it on PS5 with the, the haptic feedback and all that on the cool controller? Let's just have a discussion in the comments. If you guys did enjoy this video, please be sure to smash the thumbs up button. Consider subscribing if you guys are new to the channel, and always just turn the notification bell on so you guys never miss an upload. And as always, my name is Ross, and I'll see you guys in the next video.